Coming up on Mountain News this morning, with spring arriving in full swing, WYMT is beginning to offer its subsidies applications. Plus, a new book shows Kentucky Derby fashion and how it's changed over the course of time.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 6 a.m. on Wednesday, April 17th. Now let's check in with meteorologist Tim Drawbridge for a look at your forecast this morning.
Good morning, Olivia. Good morning, everyone. Warm start to the day, that's for sure. Some cloud cover issues in 72 outside our door here at WYMT. Your headlines to get you out the door this morning. Shower and thunder shower threat as we head through today. Warm not only today, but also into tomorrow before we trend colder as we head through this coming weekend. A lot of our temps this morning, basically between 70 and 75 minus those of you watching from extreme western portions of Virginia. You got Jonesville, you're reporting in at 59, UVA-wise at 64. The pinpoint Doppler radar active this morning. We got a couple of showers between Louisa and Pikeville, and that's losing its punch tracking into West Virginia. Bulk of the action here along 64, Moorhead tracking toward Ashland. Another bout of showers here moving out of Danville, continuing to track toward Estill and Powell counties, moving through Lexington yet again. Here is the forecast for today. Breaks of sunshine, breezy, showers, scattered thunderstorms, and a forecast high in hazard later this afternoon, up to 77. Hillbilly days and a lot of things as we get through the middle of April coming up for the weekend. All the details with your first alert 7-day forecast coming up in just a few moments. Olivia?
All right, Tim, thank you. Kentucky lawmakers are heading home after a 60-day session ended Monday night. The session marked a new budget, improvements to roads, research dollars for universities, and a bill aimed at curbing human trafficking. The session also ended with 2 constitutional amendments voters will decide on: school choice and voting issues. Republicans say it was a success, but Democrats say it fell short.
We showed during the budget process Kentuckians by this time in 2026 will have their taxes cut yet again a 4th time down to 3.5%. Another major accomplishment will be the fact that the constitutional amendment regarding parental school choice.
This is par for the course. Kentucky Republicans have had a long history of attacking working families. They've come after organized labor by making Kentucky a right-to-work state. They've come after our most vulnerable populations.
Governor Beshear signed more than 140 bills into law, and more than 40 others were made law by other avenues. Potholes can cause problems for drivers throughout Kentucky. Potholes tend to be a year-round issue, but especially start to pop up during a freeze-thaw cycle that our weather usually goes through in early spring. Aside from being an unpleasant nuisance, potholes can cause real damage to both your car and your wallet.
The worst thing about hitting a pothole with your vehicle is if you only damage the tire on your car. Those are excluded from your policy. So unless there's more damage, meaning like the wheel or the body damage, then there's no coverage for just your tire.
The Kentucky Public Protection Cabinet says they will consider reimbursement claims to cover repair costs and your auto insurance deductible, as long as the driver can prove negligence in pothole repairs. Starting this week, you can get some financial help with your electricity bills as the days start heating up. LIHEAP's spring subsidy program will open now until the end of May. It's only eligible for households earning up to 150% of the federal poverty guidelines. If you apply, you can receive up to $200 toward your electric company for your next bill. So how do you get it? Karen Atkins with Kentucky River Foothills explains.
Well, first of all, you have to be responsible for your cooling bill. So you have to be either a homeowner or a renter. You just have to provide your Social Security number and proof of income for everyone in the house. That's what will configure what your benefit is.
Kentucky River Foothills services Estill, Clark, Madison, and Powell counties. Counties outside of these can find local assistance through community action partnerships. Clay County High School choir students are sharing their voices beyond the state line, recently making a trip to Washington, D.C. during their spring break to perform several concerts. They had the opportunity to perform for roughly 80 veterans at a retirement home and sing on the steps of the Thomas Jefferson Memorial in front of the public. Senior Bryce Madden says it was an experience he will never forget.
It was incredibly honoring too, to get to go up there. No choir, at least as far as I know, no choir from at least Clay County had ever done anything like that. We got invited to go up there, and I mean, to get to see the culmination of all our hard work and all of our fundraising, I mean, it was very rewarding, and honestly, it was very humbling too.
The students were also given the opportunity to lay a wreath at the World War II Memorial for Kentucky while singing My Old Kentucky Home. The Run for the Roses is known for its fashion statements. Churchill Downs highlighted 150 years of track trends this year in their first ever style guide. Marissa Burke gives us a peek inside.
A nod to Derby fashion from the past in a contemporary, updated way. Churchill Downs' first ever Derby style guide pays homage to over a century of iconic looks. The guide, which is available in book form and online, showcases decades of trends and how we've modernized Derby fashion.
So feathers have always been worn on the head, but this year we're seeing a lot of ostrich feathers on clothing as well. And as we looked back at the 20s and 30s and sort of that flapper inspiration, instead of fringe, ostrich feather was the way that we interpreted that.
Tanya Ablin is Churchill Downs' Vice President of Corporate Communications. She describes the dress she's wearing as a retro silhouette with details similar to the garland of roses. Outfits like hers that pull in traditions of the track are the reasons why Churchill Downs created the guide.
The neck felt, high and conservative. It was something that people could have worn in the 30s and 40s, but in a more contemporary, modern way. And so that was really the goal of the style guide, was how can we take those inspirations from the past and just update them a little bit.
This model is wearing an outfit ideal for Oaks, a Derby tradition that's been around for a decade. Classic looks for men have not changed drastically. The guide shows men wearing pattern or solid color blazers, neutral pants, and matching accessories.
And where men can have a lot of fun is incorporating a hat, but of course with a bow tie.
And I was looking at the details. Is that a mint julep?
That's right.
Gotta have your mint julep, right?
Churchill Downs' Derby style guide shows how different eras use color, patterns, and hats. Through the 80s and early 90s, people ditched the hats altogether. In the early 2000s, fascinators took center stage. For Derby 150, Ablin hopes people take tips from the guide and revisit the past. But no matter what you wear, Ablin says, let the racetrack become your runway. Marissa Burke, Wave News.
And a good Wednesday to you. Warm start to the day. Look at the temps right now. As warm as 74 as you make your way toward Harlan. Mid-60s though up toward Moorhead, where the rain has been moving on through. Pinpoint Doppler radar, couple of showers maybe here. You got to look very closely. Pikeville up toward Louisa. Otherwise, the bulk of the action again along and north of 64 from Moorhead back toward Lexington. Another extension of the rain here from Lexington southwestward through Danville, tracking again toward Estill, Powell, and Montgomery, as well as Menifee County. So in the travel forecast for this morning, some of us will need the wipers with the scattered shower and thunder shower threat. And the coverage right now looks like it'll be decreasing as we head through the afternoon. The focus, though, I think will be pretty much hazard out to the east and to the south. More about your first alert 7-day forecast coming up in just a few moments. Olivia?
Thank you, Tim, and thanks for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. When we return, infighting in the GOP as some House Republicans plan a potential move to oust House Speaker Mike Johnson.